I'm Kenny Kweens, and we're celebrating 25 years of Beautiful Creatures.
I'm Joe Leste from band Beautiful Creatures.
Hi, I'm Anthony Focx, and it's been 25 years since we released our debut album.
August 14th, 2026 marks the 25th anniversary of one of the greatest albums of all time. In my opinion, it is Beautiful Creatures' self-titled debut, and I want to celebrate. I'm John Hyde. I know you want to celebrate, and I also know my good buddy Carson. She's going to help me celebrate as well.
No, I'm going to correct you. That debut album, 25 years, still holding up, the greatest album of the 2000s, and I'm going to argue the greatest album of all time. Step aside Bach, Beethoven. No. Beautiful Creatures was here, it was made, and we're done. And Hyde and I are very fortunate today to be joined by two of the Creatures because we're going to get into all of it.
The big news in the recent world of Beautiful Creatures is that finally the album is available digitally. Now it's on streaming services. Kenny, can you talk about how that all came together?
Well, it was a longer process than it probably needed to be. I have been trying to get in touch with the right person at Warner Brothers for, I would say, as long as we've known it's not on the streaming services. I got in touch with Liz Goodman, who worked the record back in 2001 with Warner Brothers, and she connected me with the right people, and it got done.
So going to the digital release, for fans like me who have been listening, we've been holding on to our CDs. Some of us still have our iPods. The fact that now we can stream it, I'm going to tell you that first day I threw it on and I went for a run. It was 95 degrees in Nashville and I clocked my miles. But I've got to imagine that because now you're seeing the numbers of people that have been listening. When I looked that first couple of days, were you guys surprised at all at how quickly people picked up on it? Because the numbers really were really big right out of the gate.
It's gotten a great response, and we're really happy with it. But it all goes back to the fans. The true Beautiful Creatures are the fans, and they've always stuck with us. It seems like it's picking up with a new generation of fans out there that's liking hard rock, which is kind of cool too.
I'm a bull in the China shop. I'm a freak, stomping in the rain. It was the road of the dice and paid a heavy price.
Because we didn't have social media back in 2000, but we have it now. Have you checked out some of the reaction on a Facebook, on an Instagram? And has anything really stuck with you? Like, wow, all these years later, there's still, obviously between Hyde and I, but there's so many more of us that are still devoted.
Yeah, I was really surprised that 25 years later, there was such a response. Of all ages, awesome comments, and it was just a great response.
It's a great feeling to know you did a band that, even though the whole record label kind of quit right when we were getting ready to take off, it's okay because our fans didn't quit, and that's what's important to us,
What's cool about this band is it's always been an underground thing, and it's been word of mouth. The fans spreading it like a virus.
Yours is mine and what's mine is mine, and I'll take it every time.
We're going to take it back to the beginning, and I'm real excited to talk about the history of this album, and even more excited that we are being given access to the fabled Focx files. Anthony Focx has kept a record of so much great stuff from the very beginning of this band. And while I'm thinking about the very beginning, let me ask you, what does that bring to mind for you when I say the beginning of Beautiful Creatures?
So what comes to mind for me is going to the studio, the rehearsal studio, for the first time and meeting Joe and DJ. Walking in, both guys were really cool. First time we got together, we didn't really play. We just kind of talked. We just did an introduction, and we were sitting in the rehearsal studio. Out of nowhere, Joe just says, "What, do you want the gig?" And I was kind of taken back. I was like, "You haven't even heard me play yet." You know, it's just weird. Like he just offered me the gig without even hearing me play. It's something that's always stuck with me. And from then on, Joe and I had a bit of a bond from then on. Like it was on. Like, okay, this is my guy. So it was that same night. The DJ was there and he turned on his rig and he just started playing. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. You know, his tone, you know, he had that it look, you know, that it factor, and his tone was incredible. And he was playing, you know, amazing. I was like, okay, this is something I need to be a part of. And that was the beginning of it all. And then met Ant and Glenn came on board.
But Joe had called me and he's like, hey man, we're auditioning drummers and guitar players. You want to come down? And I said, yeah, well, what do you want me to do? He goes, well, what do you want to play? And I said, I'll play guitar. I totally threw him for a loop, you know. I was like, okay, come on down and play guitar. I brought my guitar down and I plugged in and I played. And then it worked out. I mean, you know, DJ felt comfortable. I wasn't a lead guitar player. I wasn't going to fight him on parts.
My thing is like, I don't have any barriers in my mind. You know what I mean? I look at it like I can put something together here. I'm going to do this. And very fortunate for me, I got a great bunch of guys together, handpicked each one of them. And it worked perfectly, you know. And so, like I said, I have no barriers, you know. And when it comes to music, I want to do everything. You run up the flagpole, people like it, you go with it. But Beautiful Creatures is a passion of mine, you know, especially with the writing. And so everything means a lot to me. You know, when I put that band together, I figured I'm going to do this because I love it. You know, people need rock and roll.
I said, hey, this is what you stand by me now. Give me real time. Hey, this is what you stand by me now. Show me how to turn it upside down. I said.
So the pieces are all moving into place. How did you guys get signed?
So we've been together for about 4 or 5 months. We have a manager named John Greenberg. John set up a showcase at the Whiskey, middle of the day. But like you're inside, the lights are on, you go for it, with no name. We didn't have a picture, nothing. Like it was just in its rawest form, 20 minutes worth of material, maybe 4 or 5 songs. They were just ideas. They weren't really completed songs. And obviously it was good because in the end, we got to choose who we wanted to go with. They didn't choose us. We chose Warner Brothers.
You got to understand, with Beautiful Creatures, I have so much confidence when I walk out on that stage that I know those people are going to listen and I know they're going to like it. I mean, we did the Ozfest, you know, and to walk out there in the Ozfest and be this unknown band and have thousands and thousands of people looking at you, I could flip them like a coin. You know, they're like, who are these guys, man? And it just is nuts. But I have so much confidence in my band. You know, I got great players, great guys. You know, so I don't get nervous about it.
Hey, Kenny, remember some of the guys from the Doors were at our showcase?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Robbie and Ray.
Yeah, it was great.
They were playing a show that night.
I remember them being there, and they gave us their wishes, and told us that this is where they started at the Whiskey Go-Go back in the 60s.
Yep, that's right. They said it was a magical stage.
This is, of course, the question that every band gets asked, but how did the band name Beautiful Creatures come about?
So shortly after we had that showcase at the Whiskey and were signed to Warner Brothers, we need a name. We'd go into Warner Brothers and they would just say, hey, the rock band's here. We had the name Ego Star at first, and that's off of a Mother Love Bone song called High Top Captain. And it was good, but we thought we could do better. So the record label gave us a deadline, and they said, okay, we need a name. So we had a band meeting at a place called Jones. It's a restaurant in Hollywood. And it's the band, and it's the management, and it's the A&R. Joe had been out, you know, the night before, and someone gave him a card, a business card, and it said Beautiful Creatures documentary on it. And it was about strippers. And he had it in his pocket. And when we sat down, you know, we ordered some pizza, and everyone's kind of looking around like, do we have a name? Do we not? And Joe says, what about, pulls out the card, what about Beautiful Creatures? And everyone kind of looked at each other and smiled, and jaws dropped, and that was it.
Of course, the album is produced by Sean Bevan. How was he to work with as a producer?
John was very involved. He didn't just sit back and hit record, do whatever you want. A lot of the tones, a lot of the production, and it was all his idea. Like, oh, let's make this part small, let's make this part big. Let's put Joe's vocal through a megaphone over here. Let's do whatever it was, Sean's doing. He came in and couldn't have been the more perfect producer.
I've been kicking for days, counting the ways. I've been through hell now, baby. I've been kicking for days, counting the ways. I've been through hell.
Let's go back to August 2001. You guys were in New York City for the release. I think you guys can tell me maybe where the first 5 copies of the album got sold to.
I bought one. The whole time it was being made and recorded and hyped and all that stuff before the record came out, I kept saying, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. When I see it on a shelf, I'll believe it's actually going to happen. August 13th going into August 14th, midnight, we were in New York City. We went down to Times Square, Virgin Megastore. Sure enough, it's on an end cap. And we all walked up and picked one up and actually went and bought it. Still here. In the wrapper. I've got the receipt as well. Prove it. But yeah, it was a great celebration that night. We had a great time. We all bought a copy. And it was a great feeling.
Yeah, there was a line of fans. It was really, it was kind of mind blowing that just to see that in real time, as you're walking up to the store and you see like a line of fans waiting to buy the record
At midnight.
Yeah, to see your own album out finally after working so hard and writing it and rehearsing it, recording it, performing it, and then you see the finished product on the shelf. It's really a great feeling.
This experience that we shared on August 14th, 2001, a lot of people don't get to do that now because there aren't any more record stores. You can't walk in and see your album or CD or anything on many of the shelves anymore. It's just not that way. So that, looking back, even makes it more special.
Kenny, I got to be honest, it does hurt my soul just a little bit seeing that copy still sealed. I believe every copy of this album should be opened and listened to.
I get it, but it probably never will be opened.
Going through track by track, what is my favorite album ever? We give you the title 1 a.m. What comes to mind?
It's it pretty much sets the tone for what Beautiful Creature sounds like. For a listener who listens to that first track, it really kind of it has that raw energy that makes it sound like, okay, this is a hard rock band that's ready to unleash. When we used to rehearse, we pretty much always ended at 1 a.m. and it's just one of those things that brings back memories of we'd be rehearsing and then I'd look at the clock and it's 1 a.m.
The guitar intro in that song with the scratching on the strings with the pig, it hooks you right away and just drags you into the world of Beautiful Creatures.
I'm alone again and I need a friend. Feeling down in the dirt again, getting burned again. Where the hell are you? 1 a.m. and I'm cold again. I'm alone again and I need a friend.
All right, let's go now to the second half of the greatest 1-2 punch in rock and roll, in my opinion. It is Wasted.
Ain't no saint inside the skin.
There ain't no saint inside that skin.
You've got fans who have immortalized that lyric.
I know.
By tattooing it on their arms. We've seen those pictures for years, which also is a great way for, if you know, that Beautiful Creatures fans recognized each other.
That's the genius of Joe Leste right there.
Taking my time, taking my time. What?
Taking my time, what? He picked me to sing what? I love it. Thanks, Joe.
I've been waiting so long. I've made up my mind. All of this time wasted. I've been waiting so long. I've made up my mind. No more wasting time.
Well, rolling into Step Back.
Well, it's one of our more aggressive songs. I start the song off and then it kicks into full throttle. I love the dynamics of it.
I think that really shows Glenn. You know, if you really listen to the drums, it really shows off, you know, Glenn's abilities. He's a great drummer, probably the best drummer I've ever played with.
It's one of our more modern sounding songs on the album. It has a lot of aggression and it really, I think it was captured well in the studio.
Step back, you don't know me. Step back, you don't know me. Step back, you don't make a difference. Step so hell away. Step back, you don't know me. Step back, 'cause you don't know me. Step back, you don't make a difference. Step so hell away.
This album just doesn't let up. Next up, it's Ride.
Absolutely my favorite song on the record. It was always the opener, you know, the show opener. It was on Rollerball. Again, Sean Bevan with his tones. There's this one part where DJ they had this little cigarette amplifier thing that was low on batteries. I even remember Sean kind of pressing down on it because the batteries were dying or whatever. But to get that really gritty, nasty, small, you know, sound. Like DJ could always do like melodic stuff and it's beautiful and all that. But he could also, it sounds like he's strangling the guitar, like at times it just sounds like it's hurting. And I love it. I love it because it's showing emotion in a different way. That's the song for Beautiful Creatures. That's the one that encapsulates everything, you know, and makes you want to drive your car or your motorcycle or whatever too fast and probably crash. Probably shouldn't be listening to that song while operating a motor vehicle.
Anyone, but I'd rather be alone. Will rock and move, make it on my own. I could be with anyone. I'd rather be alone.
Anthony, going into Wish, I kind of have to preface it with, we were talking about the way that 1 a.m. like just hits you between the eyes, and Step Back is, you know, it's heavier, and, you know, Kenny talking about Ride, that it's like, that's the song you're driving when you crash your car. And then you get to Wish, which is, I think really shows the depth of what you guys were writing, and like musically and lyrically. Is there something that sticks out for you with that song, with the whole vibe of it, and even where it appears on the album? Because it's really interesting that it's track 5. It just kind of gives you not a slowdown, but a slight lull, like room to breathe.
It's a very emotional song lyrically, and I think that the guitar playing, the solos are very memorable, very melodic and memorable. A DJ always crafted out his solos and always played them note for note live, and it wasn't just thrown together. It was like he really, when he wrote the solo, he really put a lot of thought into it, and always kept everything as close as it could be. I think it's great lyrically too, with Joe and his words and melodies. I think it's a great song.
Like Anthony was saying, the lyrics sound like someone that just had, you know, a really bad breakup, and they're just pouring it out. Like it's almost like every thought just coming out from, you know, different places of the whole relationship, good or bad, or the good and the bad. But the line that I really love the most is sometimes pretty ain't pretty at all. I mean,
Sometimes pretty ain't pretty at all.
that's probably just as important of a lyric as the chorus, you know. And I'm a junkie for you. You know, that like you're just stuck on this person. You can't, you want to move on. You can't, you know, wish you were whatever they wanted you to be. I think Joe did an excellent job on that song. You know, you can hear his emotion. It was well done.
This song holds a special place in my heart because, Anthony, you actually pulled me up on stage many moons ago to sing some backup vocals on this next one. And I don't know that I really helped the sound of the band, but I'd like to think my enthusiasm more than made up for my shortcomings. It's Kick Out.
Simply badass. I mean, this one was always the ender, the last song of the night, you know, the show ender. So I love the ear candy that the DJ has on his effects at the beginning, and then the punch coming in. Blood-stained nice guys. You know? Love spits the bullseye. Like, those lyrics could mean anything. I love how abstract it is, and it just punches so well. It's like a AC/DC verse, and then that post-chorus is very GNR. Tight fist, diamond rings. You know, just all those little great abstract cool vision comes to mind with this. And I love that it's just straightforward, in your face rock and roll.
Kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out, kick out. Break out, break out, break out, break out, break out. Take a long look at yourself and leave the rest behind. I'm gonna make everything my own. I'm gonna steal your heart and make it home. Gonna take everything I want and leave the rest behind.
Blacklist, I have to tell you that this is the song if I feel like I need armor for my day. If I need to feel like, it's not even that I need to pick me up, it's I need to remember that, like, yeah, I got this, and I've got, you know, everybody else behind me. It's a powerful, just badass song, and I wondered kind of what your thoughts were on it.
Well, it's one of our heavy bluesy riff sounding songs. I love it how it has the quieter verses and then explodes in the chorus.
I got to use my Gibson EB1 bass guitar. It's a 1953 EB1, and EB1 stands for Electric Bass 1. It was the first electric bass that Gibson had made, the model. And we needed a bass that would really sustain and be big on this song. And I asked Sean Bevan, I was like, hey, let me bring in this vintage bass I have. I remember when I kicked into the song, the whole control room shook.
It really explodes at the end and drives it home.
Like a star, I always fall. Catch me every night. Good lyrics.
I could never change. We are the blacklist. Check yourself to the back of the line. We are the blacklist. Check yourself, 'cause we're doing just fine.
I always say there's a weird vibe with this song in such a good way. It's like aggressively laid back. It's kicking for days.
That is one of my favorite songs to play live. DJ is absolutely a god on the bad horsey pedal. Any guitar players out there wanting to learn and play any of this stuff off of Beautiful Creatures, go out and purchase yourself a bad horsey wah pedal, because it's on, I think, every song. And he's a master at it. I think so much so that he's got his own model now. I think Joe is in a zone on this one. Like, this is Joe. Like, this is Joe probably just scatting right off the top of his head, you know, right off the top of his whatever's coming to mind. Like, he may have walked in the studio with a blank piece of paper and just did that, you know, like, that's just Joe. You know, the verses couldn't be any more Joe in his zone doing his thing. Love it. Like, that song to me is just Awesome. Love it.
I've been kicking for days, counting my ways. I've been through hell now, baby. I've been kicking for days, counting my ways. I've been through hell now, honey. I've been kicking for days, counting my ways. I've been through hell now, baby. I've been kicking for days, counting my ways. I've been through hell with you.
Well, going into time and time again, Anthony, I feel like now I just keep looking at you for ballads and what's going on over there. That this is another one where it's look, as a female who loves her some rock and roll, you know what I also love? Oh, I love when you guys show me some feeling. And this is there's definitely feels in this one.
So this song is like a bluesy groove ballad. It lyrically, it's awesome. It has a great, memorable guitar solo.
Yeah, this shows a softer side of the band for sure, with no sneaky attacks. Like all the in Wish, we kind of sneak in there with that big chorus and everything, and then same thing in Blacklist kind of fools you too. Like oh yeah, this is gonna be this, and then it's not. But this one actually stands true to the softer side of the band.
It's well structured and definitely timeless sounding, and I love playing it.
Time and time again, seems so strange, like you don't even know me. You could have shown me.
I have to really point out the end of that song, the whole last, I guess, extra verse with the "when you reached out" and then ending with "but for now, this is our last song." Just, it's so moving. It's so captivating. It's so well done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do Going Off.
Well, this song we love so much that we wrote and recorded it twice. And some people may not know this, but when we were coming down to the wire, we had two different versions of the song. One was called Going Off and one was called Get Up. And Get Up was a little heavier. Going Off, I think, fit in better. So we went with that. Get Up appeared on an import, though. At some point, it was out there. And maybe at some point, we'll release that digitally, too. It's a really good version of the song. Love the intro on that. Well, DJ was always really good at, picking that perfect effect. He's masterful of sitting down and listening and figuring out, okay, this is exactly what I want, and this is going to work well together. And giving it a little, like I said, ear candy. There's always a lot of ear candy on that stuff. Drums are awesome on that track too. Great song.
I'm going off till I finally get my way. I'm going off till I finally have my day. I'm going off.
We're going into my sentimental favorite right now. I can't tell you it's my favorite song on the album, but ask me on a particular day, New Orleans is it's never not up there.
Well, it's my favorite city in the world. I love the southern feel of it, of course. I like my bass line in that one. And yeah, the guitar solos, it's throughout. Like there's a lot of guitar playing, but it always fits. It isn't like, someone just noodling to noodle. It's very fitting for the song and very melodic.
It definitely shows another side of the band. It has, it kind of steps away from the aggressive, super heavy driven sound and brings you into a different spectrum.
Down, I said, I fell in love down in New Orleans, and I found myself inside. I fell in love down in New Orleans when you showed me all those lies. All right.
Carson talked about the song that was her armor when she walks into a room, and I feel like this one has to be the equivalent of how Beautiful Creature's superfan Stone Cold Steve Austin feels when his glass shatters. Yeah, there he is in that BC shirt. I love it. This is I Got It All.
It's got like a modern AC/DC vibe to it with like almost like an Ozzy type pre-choruses. It shows our influences for sure. A lot of bravado, I guess. I see things that will make you blind. I got stories up and down my spine. Yeah, it sounds like a badass, you know? Sounds like somebody that probably should be in jail.
With the release digitally, and fans are so stoked that people have not just been sharing their love for the album, for the music, but even saying that Jeremy posted that so many friendships and brotherhoods and sisterhoods have been forged off the album, off Beautiful Creatures. With this fan base that you have, it then really goes into the next question of the band itself. Are you guys still together?
We never have not been together.
People have been posting in the comments vinyl that but we know that that's not actually official vinyl of Beautiful Creatures' first record. Is that something that could happen, Kenny?
So we see all the comments and the posts and all that stuff, and we love it. We're working hard to make some of that stuff come true. And as soon as it comes true, you'll hear it from us.
We've been looking back at Beautiful Creatures' 25th anniversary of the debut album, but we can't help but also look ahead. Is there any chance we will get Beautiful Creatures on stage again?
The thought is epic.
I want everything that I decide to do now with Creatures to not be some form of mistake or something. You know what I mean?
I try my best to stay in touch with each of the guys. It would be a sad thing if this band never gets on stage again. So I'm hopeful. Say it like I mean it. Everyone seems to be shaking their asses.
Kenny, you know what I mean?
Ready to play!
One of you, do you have the clock that was on in the studio? I swear one of you said that.
I do. I still have the clock. I mean, think about that lyric. Like, think about that for a second. Blacklist. Like, that's not a good thing. Like,
No.
being on the blacklist, that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. And we're saying, we're worse than you. Get in the back.
This is why it's my armor, Kenny.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I'm
like,
like, you
oh,
know,
no.
because it makes me
We
feel powerful.
We worked to be this bad,
Yeah.
to be at the top of the list. So you check yourself to the back of the line.
We are the best of the worst.
We're gonna win at something.
Yeah, we're good at being really bad.
Oh, man.
We're the worst and we're proud of it.